Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Martin for here once again. And yes, I'm wearing my Evie Oddly shirt from last year. Shout out to, well, at the time, the current reigning queen. But we are here to finally put an end to Rupaul's Drag Race season 12. Overall, this season was very unique. It was definitely more positive than negative. What I think I liked the most about it was how we had probably one of the strongest, like, top 3 in a very long time. Because it seemed like between the past couple seasons, say take 10 or 11. If you take 10, I mean, between like Asia, Aquaria, Eureka, and Cameron, I feel like you could make an argument for, you know, Asia to win, maybe even for Aquaria, but I felt like there was more negativity surrounding Eureka's name, and people really didn't know too much about Cameron other than the fact that she was fine in a drag. And season 11, the majority of the people hated Silky. We loved Evie, they liked Brooklyn. I don't really know, I think they were kind of like indifferent to Aquaria at the time, but I felt like with this season, I mean, granted, She Who Shall Not Be Named isn't a part of it, and because they had to be a top 3 instead of a top 4, people love the trajectory of Crystal. I feel like Crystal won everyone's hearts over by her just growing throughout the competition. Gigi sort of was a fan favorite the entire way through, showed a lot of versatility, a lot of style, a lot of fashion, even some moments. And whereas Jada has just like a similar rise to Gigi, had a great start. She gave us great confessionals, was always funny, and just had like a really good heart, and just personality was so endearing. So I felt like there was a case that could actually be made for each contestant in this top 3, you guys. And so I want to quickly go over some of the things in the finale. Not going to cover absolutely everything, because while I was watching it at a friend's house, and I was actually watching it with Monique, because me and Monique Hart from season 10 and All Stars 4, we actually live in the same building, so I see her all the time. And she stopped by a little viewing party, and we was kikiing and having a good time. And this is another reason why I don't like to watch like shows like this in bar settings or even in large groups of people, because even though it's fun to engage with other people at the time, when everybody's kind of like inebriated, people are loud and you can't really hear everything. So it is what it is. I still had a great time. We'll go talk about it. So I wanted to talk about quickly everybody's sort of looks, because they did a lot of different looks this surprisingly from home. Honestly, there were no boots to me. There were no boots, there were no side eyes, whatever you want to call it. Everybody looked honestly amazing. And if I had to pick, there were some that I wanted to especially, honor. Okay, first, Aiden Zane. Aiden got a double whammy. He looked, or they, whichever pronouns that they use, looked amazing both at the reunion and this finale. Like that gown, that whole, I don't even know what that is that attaches to like the back and spreads out, and just like the two-tone color scheme she had on. Of course, she had her wig. She looked amazing, like incredible. Probably one of my favorite looks. Honestly, probably one of my favorites from the night. And then I actually give a nod to Britta. Britta kind of had the Katy Perry rocket titty going on, but still had the gown going and the big, big blonde hair. I really enjoyed that. Jan was giving me Detox season 5 finale with like the black and white, but then her eye was like, the pupil was missing, and it was very just like fantasy-ish. I really responded to that. Widow came out as a spider. I mean, why not? Why was Crystal Method a pinata? I told Crystal in her mind, you just never know what's going. A penny. I would never think to show up as a fucking pinata in my house. I love her. Gigi had like a. And you know what? Somebody else that I was watching with mentioned this. She had like a. What color is that? Turquoise. I think that's turquoise. But it's that velvet kind of fabric that I think Sasha Velours wear a lot, that kind of rolls up. It looks really pretty. It reflects light really well. And she had like another whole headpiece. You know, Gigi good for a headpiece, child. But I mean, she looked really, really good. I wish I knew what that fabric, if anybody knows, what is that fabric called? Because I might, I want to get some for myself, And Jada was looking like the solar system somehow. Like she had this whole like headpiece thing going on that with like around her body that had stars and other different shapes and stuff. I'm just like, I mean, just do it then, bitch. Just like, have I side-eyed Jada this whole time? I really think the only critique I've ever given Jada on any of her looks was the fact that she had a wig that one time that was like, that had some flyaways, but everything else in the outfit was sickening. It was just it's just little hairs on the flyaway wig, that was it. Like the bitch just looks amazing. So, those are all the looks that I wanted to still put a nod to. Everybody else, like I said, the few of those that I didn't mention looked amazing, but these were the ones that I responded the most to. And I want to talk about the judges real quick. So we had Michelle Visage and all her salt and pepper glory, and out of nowhere, I just see an ass. I'm like, who the fuck is that her husband? And I'm pretty sure that's her husband. I hope that's her husband that's walking around naked in her house. But I'm like, her husband's he cute or whatever, he handsome. I'm like, okay, Michelle. And Ross Matthews had his little salt and pepper thing going on. They have not gotten a chance to touch up the roots due to the corona. And as you can tell, but they don't look bad though. That kind of make them look distinguished a little bit. I don't know. I hope they kind of ride that look out a little bit more. Kind of give it like a little two-tone thing going on. I wouldn't be mad at that. Now, Carson Kressley was walking around looking like he had a really bad spray tan. And I was like, why did they let him do himself like that? Because it looked like he had like orange color corrector around his face and mouth area, and the light was just beaming down on his forehead. It was not a cute look. I'm just like, I mean, he made a couple of funny jokes, but I'm just too distracted by the crazy way that he was looking, child. So after, we got introduced to all the judges again, we started to take a look at, well, they called it a closer look with each of the top 3 queens. And so the first up was Crystal Method. We got to see, a beautiful message from his parents, his mom and dad, who loved him so much. And if y'all remember, like they talked about his dad was, going through the different kinds of illnesses, and he was very worried about them. And it's good to see that they're doing, pretty well, and how supportive they are of their child, and the fact that they wanted to do drag. And Crystal saying that their relationship has gotten so much better. So it was just, really nice to see, where a lot of these queens come from, kind of get to see what kind of environment that they were raised in, and how they can we can see where they may get their inspiration from, because a lot of people, get a lot of their inspiration from their family members. And so it was really, really nice. I think we got a message from the parents and their grandma, and something that Rue had pointed out is that both the mom and the grandma had the girls out. I was like, yes, they like to have them titties. We love to see the titties. So that was really fun. And after, we had the closer look with Gigi, they decided to do a segment where they were honoring all of the different essential workers who've been working on the front lines during the whole entire COVID pandemic. And it's really, really touching because, this season has been plagued with, of course, not only dealing with the She Who Shall Not Be Named, but the world as a whole has been dealing with this corona situation and how to sort of navigate life differently ever since the beginning of March, and we're at the end of May going into June as of now. So it's truly been crazy. I am so thankful that we've had, you know, the kind of people that we've had still able to do their job, perform their job for the sake of keeping society going on a certain level, you know what I mean? So I definitely salute those. I think I have a cousin, well, I know I have a cousin, I don't think, but I have a cousin who works as a registered nurse in Alabama, and she has to dress in full-fledged head-to-toe PPE to deal with the patients. I know she usually works with delivering babies, so I mean, the world still has to continue to some degree, and so we really do love and honor those who are still putting themselves at potential risk so that we can still sort of come out of this on the other side. So I believe that was very, very important. I'm glad that they highlighted that fact, and good job, good job. Next on the closer look with the queens, we get to Gigi, and of course, Rupaul had to make a joke about how if we had a dime for every time Gigi mentioned her mom on the show, she would already have $100,000, which is a joke, but I feel like I still was always endeared by the fact that, you know, she always talked about how her mom helped her make all of her clothes, and it was nice to know that, you know, a mother was willing and happy to create, you know, clothes or costumes or drag, you know, costumes for her son, when a lot of moms, you know, there's many memes, especially those of us in the Black community, where that's not very common. You know, it's common for, you know, mothers to think if their sons even like to play with dolls or like the color pink or anything that's associated with femininity, they try to beat it out of them, you know, say this is for girls, this is for boys, and not my son, and all this other, you know, negative stuff. So it's nice to see how a mother decided to embrace her child's expression of who they were and even help, you know, to that degree. So I feel like the relationship that Gigi has with her mom is such a genuine one. I know that Gigi appreciates it because I know I appreciate the relationship that I have with my own mother, who allows me to sort of express myself the way that I have with makeup and costume. So it was very nice to see, and I'm glad that that relationship has seen a sort of spotlight to hopefully inspire other parents as well. So when it came time to her to talk about her father, I don't think she's mentioned this the entire time on the show, but when she started to say that, you know, her and her father didn't have the best relationship growing up, and it seems as if there was a disagreement about Gigi's sexuality or Gigi's interest in drag as a whole, and it's sort of created this rift between them. But it sounds like over time, which is a testament to their father's maturity, over time they were able to conquer that, and they sort of rebuilt their relationship, and it seems like they're on much better terms now. So again, I hope that reaches out to all of the other fathers out there who allows their child to do whatever it is that they want to do, and just don't let your prejudice get in the way between the relationship with you and your child. So after Gigi, of course, came Jada, and they talked about how she had this relationship with her brother and her father, who was always there to support her. And when they showed the brother, I mean, Jada, if you have his number, contact information, I just want to talk, you know, grab a drink. But no, the brother was cute. And even I saw the daddy and said, even the daddy look young. I'm saying, come on then, jeans, black don't crack. Yes, ma'am. But that was so sweet to see, because, you know, really in the Black community, like, the supportive family members for a young Black boy to dress in women's clothes is very rare. Very rare. So the fact that not only your older brother but your dad also supports you is definitely commendable. I still haven't necessarily gotten to that point with my own older brother and father yet. They're still a little on the fence. Maybe they'll get there. I hope they do. But it was really, really nice to see Jada look beat to the high heavens and I don't know. It was just like to see like a lot of the family in the background of these people. It was really just so refreshing, and I loved every moment of it. Okay, so there's, if y'all don't know, there's the riots that are happening right now. There's a lot of noise outside. My roommates are having discussions about the protests, so if y'all hear the background noise, I have to get the video done. Like, I'm trying to work with the best I got. Hopefully it's not disturbing. Hopefully you can still get the content. But anyway, I want to talk about the lip syncing with the face. Now, initially the plan was to do a lip sync with the face and then choose 2 people from that to go to the final 2 to go to the crown. And I'm like, that sounds dumb. Only because, like, how can you expect all 3 to do what they're gonna do? Only with the face, and then we have to kick one of them out just because of the face to go to the next level. I was like, wouldn't you just have somebody just do like they're all 3? Just have all 3 do individual lip syncs and then have the final 2 do their individual lip syncs that way? That made the most sense to me, but I'm just like, okay. So they do everything right here. And they do it to Rupaul's Bring Back My Girl song. And unfortunately, the whole time while I was watching, I didn't look Crystal's way the whole time, unfortunately. Gigi and Jada were doing like more of a comedic take on it. I saw Gigi doing like a lot of the background ad-libs, which was kind of funny. And then Jada got like really, really close into the camera and gave like really good mouth. So, I mean, of the 3, I think I would still give that to Jada if I had to pick one out of the 2, or out of the 3. But I was like, this is still silly. So then I was like, okay, well, clearly Crystal's gone, and that was kind of anticlimactic. I was hoping to see, you know, more of her performance. And then they decided, oh, we're just gonna push all 3 to the finale anyway. Each is gonna do an individual lip sync, and then they're gonna take it to the crown or whatever. The way that they worded it was very strange. It was just like, y'all did a whole lot unnecessarily. I don't know. I ain't really, it felt like they was kind of all over the place with how they were trying to explain this child. But everything was virtual. I tried to give them a break. But after they announced that they're going to each do their own individual lip syncs, we move forward to, they honored their producer. I think it was Jacqueline or Jackie. So they had all these different queens talking about how their experience was with her as a producer, and everybody had all these nice things to say. But what I thought that was kind of funny, and somebody else clocked this in our viewing party that we did last night, but the fact that Vivacious looked like she was right in front of her Drag Race or DragCon booth with her fans and all her merch in the background. She's like, look, if I'm gonna have this opportunity to go on Drag Race again, I'm gonna put my fan here, direct them to my website. Shameless plug. Even though she didn't say it, it was in the background. That's all they really needed. But it was really sad to see, you know, that somebody that they all kind of cherished, or a lot of them, not everybody, kind of cherished, was able to reflect and remember that producer that they loved so much. So I really enjoyed seeing that. I don't remember anybody mentioning her before, but it was really nice to see that part of the show. So now we get to the individual lip syncs. Now, Crystal goes first, and they get to choose each of the songs that they wanted to do. So this is not like they're caught off guard. They had time to prepare this. They get to do whatever it is they wanted to do. I saw Nelly Furtado's I'm Like a Bird. I'm like, okay, where are we gonna go with this? And for like a few seconds, I was kind of like, what's happening? I mean, I see the characteristics, but then it wasn't until she started like feeding herself as the big bird. I think it was like a big blue bird and a small yellow bird, and she fed herself. That's when I was kind of like, oh, okay, I see it. Wow, like she really put like a whole production together, and I really like that song. I hate them. I really hate them. Excuse that. I hope that that wasn't loud. I'm probably gonna have like a child. We've been trying to work. But anyway, I feel like this was probably like quintessential Crystal. Like she was really giving everything, and I really enjoyed it, y'all. Like I really, really did. So she's gone. Now we move forward to Gigi. Bitch, hold on. Gigi, because when I saw her setting up her booth, to be honest with y'all, I was like, what is this? I know she was like resembling like a music video or like the original like view. And I'm like, that reminds me of that Take On Me song, like the comic strip sort of look. But I'm like, but that's a male. I wouldn't anticipate that Gigi would take that song. But surely she did. And she had like this whole like a tracksuit on with this black and white wig. So I'm like, okay. So she did like her whole quintessential Gigi comedy, you know, lip sync, and it was cute. And I think the best part about it was like the sort of mirror reflection that she had her hand on the mirror, and it was like the back of her. And then I saw that she sort of jumped and it switched from the white tracksuit to the black tracksuit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Like she had these beautiful drawings in the background. I really, really love those. And I mean, it was enjoyable. It was honestly enjoyable. I think they only gave them like a minute and a half to do their whole individual lip sync, but I think both got enough time to do what it was that they wanted to do, so to speak. Lastly, we get Jada. Jada did Sierra's Get Up from her Evolution album in her living room, child. And I mean, she just did like a quintessential dance number. She did kicks, flips, hair whips. And I mean, it was straight into the point. Now, the only thing about Jada's performance that I didn't like was the fact, and I think this is not really too much in her control. She had like a wind machine, but her wig kept getting caught in like parts of her costume. Her wig found itself in front of her face a lot to where she couldn't really see. So that kind of docked some points for me. And if I were to give even though she won like the, you know, the face round, like the close-up with the Bring Back My Girls Rupaul song, I would probably give the individual lip sync to Crystal, just because it really, like, she took on a whole different character. Like she took on two different characters, and she like fed herself, and it was very bizarre but very weird. But I still loved it, and it was probably gonna be remembered, I think, very much so, and Gigi's will as well. But I definitely feel like Crystal won that particular round. So for the first time, well, actually, before we get to that part, we got to see Nina West talking to Dolly Parton, which was very interesting and unexpected. But she did the announcement for Miss Congeniality. Now, Miss Congeniality for this season is probably one of the most obvious Miss Congenialities, I think, of any other season prior to. Maybe except for Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and it goes to Heidi in Closet. Absolutely deserved it. Who also, I don't know why I didn't give her an honorary nod for her gown that she had on. That shit was beautiful. Oh, Heidi looks so good. But she actually got $10,000 this time. I feel like it's been $5,000 all these years, but she got $10,000 this time. And then, in addition to that, well, actually, I don't know if it's in addition to, but for the first time ever in Drag Race history, the entire cast, the whole thing, all 12 girls, get $2,000 bonus cash. It's just like, oh, so y'all really racking in the money. If y'all could just start giving money to everybody, just a quick $2K, a little stimulus right here, that's what's up. Like, I like that. That was key. So lastly, they're doing all three lip sync for the crown. Everybody has the exact same setting, like the little backdrop, the balloons, everybody's looks exactly the same to try to give them the exact same sort of stage setup so they can do whatever they want to do. And I'm like, okay, what's the song? I need to know what the song is. It's about to decide everyone's fate. And honestly, once I heard, because I was looking at the costumes. Crystal had like a poofy dress, almost like a, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't want to say like a troll doll or like something out of Dr. Seuss. I can't, Crystal's mind. Gigi was like Dorothy from, The Wizard of Oz, and Jada had like this short wave with this like, of course it was obviously in the reveal, but it was like this orange suit. She looked completely amazing. So I'm like, okay, I see three completely different looks here. What kind of song could there be? And that each of these girls are taking these three completely different, angles in it. When I started hearing the, I was like, oh, Jada got this. Jada got Destiny's Child Survivor. Let me just say how I appreciated how like a lot of the finale songs that have like chosen the winners have been like some of my favorite songs ever. Like Survivor's Destiny's Child was this season. Last season it was Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga, which is one of my favorites. And All Stars, they did Christina's Fighter. Like for All Stars 4, like that was, anyway, standing. I was watching, but then what I was the most curious about was how Gigi was going to interpret this with this Dorothy costume. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? What's about to happen? And when they did like a beat drop or something, like she revealed the dress to another color dress, I'm like, okay, all right. I was expecting something else a little bit more. And Jada sort of took off her big coat and it came to like I don't even know what it's like, a tail gown. I'm horrible with fashion terms, y'all. I just know what it looked like. but she took off the sleeves and the arms and such, and she just had like her midriff out. And so she did splits. She was working the stage. Gigi was working the stage with some boots, and then she tore those off into like the little red slippers that Dorothy wears in the shows. I'm like, okay. I want to say because it was at home, but I was like, I don't know why I expected something else from Gigi. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really thought that because she is this like really elaborate fashion queen, I thought she was just gonna really like, I don't know. I don't know why I have these expectations for everybody to just, I think I just expect everybody to set themselves on fire on stage. Like, I don't know what I expect. But Crystal was over there doing TikTok dances, and I was just like, did she really just do the savage dance in this? She really did the savage dance. Like, I saw her throwing it back, and I'm like, I loved it. I honestly loved it. It was way too much fun. And then at the end, when Jada lifted up her little back cape thing and it showed a crown off her head, I said, well, there it is. Well, there it is. And so after it was all said and done, Rupaul said he chose the winner, and it was no one else in my bench. Miss Jada Essence Hall is your new reigning Drag Race superstar. Like, I was so proud. I just wanted to be like, I don't know. It's the first time that we've ever had a Black Miss Congeniality and a Black winner. That's one for the history books. And like, I just feel like Jada deserved it. You could make, like I said at the beginning, you could make a case for all three of the girls, honestly. But the fact that they gave it to Jada really makes me so happy. And of course, there's going to be the evil people that's online trying to invalidate her in the name of Gigi. And I want to say this. I don't want to go on too far on this. Gigi has said a couple of times already on social media that she does not encourage negative behavior and hatred and negativity to be sent to any of the girls in her season. They all love each other. I don't know why this generation of children can't fathom that, or if they're just that immature. I don't know what it is. But you are actually hurting her more so than you think you're helping her by showing how much you love her. If someone sees online the kind of interaction that are associated with a certain queen, they're probably less likely to want to work with that queen just because they don't want anything or any backlash from their group of horrible fans. So you're probably doing yourself a disservice, and you're just embarrassing yourself to me. Like, she doesn't really deserve that. She doesn't deserve to have that kind of reputation, because I feel like from what I've observed, she's really nice as a person. I don't think she would, be vindictive or, jealous or envious about anything in reference to this. I feel like she and Jada have a wonderful relationship, but y'all are crazy. Like, y'all are really ruining the relationship, not with the relationship, but ruining the experience for her. And honestly, if I were Gigi, this is what I would do. Because she's already said that she doesn't want people to send hate. You almost have to give people an ultimatum. Like, I would literally make a video on both Twitter and Instagram and be like, look, I tried to tell y'all to stop sending hate, especially to our current reigning queen, Miss Jada Essence Hall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on her page, look through her comments, my comments, and the Rupaul's DragRace comments. If I see anybody in there spreading negativity and hate, talking about how I was robbed, you will be blocked, and you will not be unblocked. So I suggest you now go back to those comment sections and delete your comment before I see it and you get blocked. And I bet you that would filter so many negative comments out of social media. I'm just saying. So, I mean, I know that they try to be PC about it and not be direct, but sometimes you just have to be direct. So that'll be my suggestion. But again, congratulations to Jada for your win. I know you're going to do amazing things. I can't wait to see, hopefully, when you get to go out back on the road again, when everybody's able to be on the road again. But let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. All my social media will be in the bottom bar as well if you decide to follow. We will be back next week for All Stars 5. Now, I will be out of town next Friday, and I haven't decided if I want to do it, if I want to try to film it while I'm out of town, or just want to wait till I get back that Sunday. I'll have to see. I'll have to see, but we'll definitely be doing All Stars 5 going forward. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me throughout this entire season 12 journey, and even just for YouTube in general. So okay, I've talked enough. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.